So why make a video about just literally 2 seconds? It's literally just 2 seconds. Why am I hype? Well, of course I'm hype. I'm the warrior of hype. But at this point, I mean, it's like the Twitter account could just post, hi, and I would make a video about it and explode. Sony has put Final Fantasy XVI in a commercial that was mainly first-party titles. And Sony is going to be pushing this as if it's their first-party game, which is huge. I want that. I want Final Fantasy XVI to be a big summer hit for PlayStation, which means maybe there's a state of play in the future that will feature Final Fantasy XVI as the marquee title for the state of play. This is the headliner, Final Fantasy XVI State of Play. And to back that up a little bit, in February of 2021, there was a state of play that showcased Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade for the very first time. State of Play 2022, last year, they had a Japanese-centric showcase, and Square Enix showcased Forspoken. So it kind of lines up pretty well for Square Enix to say it's time to show some more Final Fantasy XVI at a State of Play. But it may not coincide with Sony's big plans for February because they're going to be releasing the PSVR 2. So it kind of would make sense to have a PlayStation VR 2 State of Play, if anything, from Sony. Or they could intertwine VR games with PS5 announcements, which they have done in the past, and I think would work pretty well. But I really just want, for me, I just really want Final Fantasy XVI to be the headline. I want that to be the headline for Sony. There's also a little something else coming from that TV commercial, suspicions raised of possibly a new Uncharted. And the reason why I bring that up is that now it has sparked this interest. All eyes will be on the next State of Play, no matter what they say. Like, hey, this is only for Final Fantasy XVI, or this is only for PlayStation VR games. All eyes are going to be on it because they're like, where's that Uncharted at? Now, what I hope for that is that people come in looking for the Uncharted game, and they see Final Fantasy XVI with raw, uncut gameplay, showcasing exploration, showcasing the quest lines and how that's going to work, the menus, everything, the moment-to-moment gameplay of Final Fantasy XVI, and go, whoa, that looks incredible. Because for me, anything less than main event of a State of Play is going to be fantastic. For Final Fantasy fans, that's fantastic. I just want to see everybody come together for Final Fantasy XVI. Gamers who have never tried a Final Fantasy before, never even touched an RPG. I want this game to be exciting for everyone, a large audience of gamers. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. I do want to bring up E3 2023. I want to bring that up because we have IGN saying they have sources that tell them that Nintendo, PlayStation, and Sony will not be at E3 23. I want to hear an official statement from ReedPop first, but to comment on that, it's like, well, you know, Microsoft has always had their show floor literally across the street. You just walk over to across the street and you go there, and I think that's what's going to happen this year based off of what Phil Spencer has said, so that's no big deal. Xbox is still going to be kind of part of E3 in my opinion. But man, Sony hasn't been there. When I went in 2019, that was a big bummer, and it really left the show floor feeling bare and empty. But man, Nintendo took up an entire conference hall, almost an entire conference hall. And without them, that kind of has me like, man, what is happening? So I really hope that we get an official statement soon about what this E3 is really going to be about. Now the show floor kind of opens up for Final Fantasy XVI to be like, this is the game to play at E3. I mean, I kind of envision icons like touching the freaking ceiling, like statues of icons all the way up to the ceiling. Give me Ifrit versus Phoenix. Give that to me on the show floor so I'm walking and I'm looking up at those. It would just be awesome. And I think it kind of even like harkens back to what Yoshi P said in an interview a long time ago about how he was walking a convention center and he saw like these, I was like, I think they were like gigantic balloons or something, and that was what literally inspired the icon versus icon thing. As far as my goal that I announced at the end of last year, that our goals for 2023 is to go to E3, report from the show floor, bring you that coverage of hands-on impressions and interviews and stuff like that, is still my goal. It just, wherever Square Enix is, wherever Final Fantasy is where I want to be. Whether that's at E3, whether that's at Summer Game Fest, or anywhere Square Enix wants to do it, that's where I want to be. That's still the goal this year. That's all I got for this video. I think it's time to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching this, and be sure to equip a subscription to Final Fan TV because the hype continues to build. Take care now. Bye-bye then. Man, it only took just a few seconds of the style of a news coverage from ground level showing Phoenix and Ifrit battling it out in a city while a news reporter took cover to get me just going,